Welcome back to the channel. This is Roshan with Hoops times 2. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you do. Enjoy. We all know what happened with Kawhi Leonard. He signs a 4-year deal with the Clippers. No one saw this coming. We know why it took so long. Kawhi was recruiting Paul George to go to the Clippers with him because he didn't want to go to the Clippers without a second star, because in today's league it's very hard to win without a second star. No one saw this coming. We thought it was a done deal that he was going to the Lakers and that the Clippers were completely out of the conversation. Now we see this is different. I think Kawhi has a chance at becoming top 10 player of all time. I know it's a hot take, but if he wins, let's say 2 championships with the Clippers, which I think is very likely considering he's only 28 and Paul George is 29, they're already one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, with having Kawhi, Paul George, and Pat Bev on the starting lineup. And I think he can assert himself as a top 10 player of all time, especially with the team he has and the things he's already done in this league. We all know Kawhi Leonard is one of the most successful players of all time. For a big bulk of his career, he played with the San Antonio Spurs, and because of this, he has one of the highest win percentages of all time. Of course, his first championship came in 2014 with the Spurs. He was the most important and most used part of that series for the Spurs, because a lot of other pieces for the Spurs, the Hall of Famers, they were a lot older. Kawhi was about 22 years old, and of course he won Finals MVP. His second Finals MVP coming this past Finals against the Warriors. Kawhi's really just entering his prime, which is why I think he has a great chance of becoming a top 10 player of all time. Maybe if he wins 2-3 rings with the Clippers, which I think is very possible considering his talent and PG's talent and how deep this Clippers team is when it comes to Kawhi Leonard. He has that clutch gene to close out for the Clippers, and they're one of the best defensive teams already, which is another reason why I think they can ring many rings. They have guys like Pat Bev, one of the best on-ball defender guards in the NBA. The guys like PG, of course, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and Kawhi should be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate every year. And a big addition, Paul George. Of course, the Clippers acquired him from the Thunder. They had to give up a lot of assets, but they also got an even bigger one back because they weren't getting Kawhi if they didn't have PG. Kawhi wanted that second star, which is why he recruited Paul George. And this 1-2 punch is one of the best in the NBA, one of the best duos in the NBA. And there's another reason why Kawhi have success with the Clippers. And of course, the Clippers will have some trouble getting to the finals. If they do, no team easily gets to the finals. They have some great teams out west to disturb them on their trip there if they do get there. Of course, the Lakers with Bron, Cousins, and AD, they got a lot better this offseason once they realized they weren't getting Kawhi. And the Jazz, another team that could give them trouble, potential 3rd, 4th seed. But I think the Clippers can win a championship this upcoming season, and many more to come. If we're going to talk about Kawhi Leonard being a possible top 10 player of all time, we're going to talk about some of his potential accolades. I think he could win 2 more rings with the Clippers, especially with Paul George only being 29 and Kawhi 28. They're still both in their primes. And I think he can win at least 1 more Finals MVP. Maybe Paul George steals one out of the 2 rings. And I think Kawhi can win another MVP, or his first MVP. Comparing that to Bird with 3 championships, 2 Finals MVPs, and 3 regular season MVPs. I don't think Kawhi can quite get to 3 regular season MVPs, but if he gets 2 more rings, 1 more Finals MVP, and another MVP, I think that could definitely propel him into conversations with Larry Bird and top 10 player of all time. One advantage Kawhi Leonard does have over Larry Bird right now is his on-ball defense. Kawhi already has 2 Defensive Player of the Years, which is why people call him the Claw, and they were back-to-back. Larry Bird was never a bad defender, but he was never the defender that Kawhi is. And this is another reason why he could be put above Larry with those potential accolades that I talked about. And he has an advantage in depoys. He has some great performances on the defensive end, like 2014 against LeBron, and that's why he won Finals MVP. comparing Kawhi Leonard to another NBA legend, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. And I'm going to use the same potential accolades that I used with Larry Bird. Kawhi, again, I think he could win 2 rings, 2 more rings, ending in 4 rings, 3 Finals MVPs, and he already has 2 Defensive Player of the Years. I think he won 1 regular season MVP. And if you compare those to Hakeem, I do think you have to take Kawhi in terms of the accolades if Kawhi wins. Again, this is why the video is titled How He Can Become a Top 10 Player of All Time. I don't have him as one right now. I think Larry Bird and Hakeem are better than him right now. But looking in the future, in the Clippers team, and Kawhi's running mate, PG-13, I think they can win 2 more championships, be good for a very, very long time. Comparing Kawhi and Larry Bird's defense is not like comparing Kawhi and Olajuwon's, because in my eyes, Olajuwon's the best defender of all time. Kawhi and Hakeem both have 2 Defensive Player of the Years. I do think Kawhi can win another one, but I'm not going to say he is, because he still is the best on-ball defender in the league, and he's still only 28 years old. So I think him and Hakeem are very close in defense, and it could be either one. I think there's some legends you could put on the list that Kawhi Leonard has already passed up. I think you could put guys like John Stockton on there. He can never win one of the best point guards, Karl Malone, John Stockton's running mate. Neither one of them can really get it done on the biggest stages. Michael Jordan have a lot to do with that. They had some great teams, some great regular seasons, but Kawhi already has 2 rings, 2 Finals MVPs. He has the accolades to support him being a top 20 player of all time. I think the other 2 guys, Stockton and Malone, still could be put in the top 20, but you have to put Kawhi ahead of them due to him being able to win on the biggest stages. 2014 ring and Finals MVP. As a very young player in this league, he was emerging as one of the best on-ball defenders, playing great defense on LeBron, and of course 2019 with the Raptors, being able to take down this Warriors team and another Finals MVP. You have to take that into account when talking about the all-time greats. Stockton and Malone could never get it done like Kawhi did, which is the reason why I think Kawhi's passed them up. So in conclusion, I do think Kawhi Leonard can become a top 10 player of all time. With the right accolades added to his resume right now, I think he could definitely be up there with some of the all-time greats, surpass some guys like Bird and Hakeem with hard work, obviously, and the accolades that I mentioned. But right now, I think he's in a great situation with the Clippers, with the running mate Paul George, got a pit bull like Pat Bev, and a 6-man like Lou Will. They have great things to come. And Kawhi Leonard isn't done. He's just really getting started. He's just entering his prime now and proving how great he is. Thank you guys for watching. Kawhi Leonard is a potential all-time great and top 10 player. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you love animated content, and see you next time. Peace out.